Hey everyone, it's Clint. Welcome to Sweetcast. And something's going on over at DC like right now. Jim Lee said it's starting in 20 minutes, which would be 10 a.m. Pacific time, and it's 11 a.m. Mountain time right now for me. So this is happening right now. Everyone says that they're interested and that they care, but I have to question if it's really going to matter. Are they going to announce 50 billion variant covers? Are they going to announce more title cancellations? I don't know, but they're sure trying to put a positive spin on it. So we'll see what happens. At the same time, though, the other news is that Bob Harras is quitting early. He had a full 90 days to quit, and he's quitting early. So that's the big news. Before we get into it, Fatal is on Indiegogo right now. This is amazing. I'm so pleased to be a part of this, not only because it is a fantastic book. I would say it's got to be one of the best. I'm serious. This is going to be a classic book for Indiegogo campaigns. As far as crowdfunding is concerned, this is going to leave a mark. So the numbers keep going up. I'm going to even refresh it again. Backers are coming in. It's been really great. We already have 620 backers. This is super early into the campaign. Outstanding art by Charlie Snogans. And this is about an intergalactic exterminator. He goes from planet to planet. When they have problems with alien invasions, he's your guy. This particular planet is, it's just so beautiful. All the world building that Charlie has done. And look at that new page that he just added. It's gorgeous. I'm not joking. You're going to want this. Check it out in the description below. So now back to Bob Harras in DC Comics. He's the editor-in-chief, or he was editor-in-chief. He's not any longer. DC already let him know he was going to be leaving, and whether he liked it or not, and he decided to pull the plug himself. It was 2 weeks ago. Bleeding Cool says that they reported they were the first to confirm, because they have a mole inside of DC Comics, at least one mole, because they always seem to have the information before DC says anything about it. Somebody's spilling to Bleeding Cool. Let's see what they dubbed whether their new DC Comics explosion or bloodbath. That's what they were calling it, depending on what mood you're in. The news that DC Comics was making swinging cuts amongst the most senior employees at the publisher, including editor-in-chief Bob Harras. We also broke the news that Mary Jarvins and Michelle Wells together were taking his position at the company. Okay. So you got two. It's like The Office, that little. I don't remember which season it was in when they were co in charge of The Office. It just seems like a terrible idea to me, but whatever. We'll let them go with that, I guess. Yeah. So it was also reported that employees were being given a 90 days notice, new 90 days before they were getting kicked out the door, rather than the legally enforced 60 days under the California law. So they're given even more time. Of course, no one's obliged to take that if they don't want to. They'd even be paid. So he is leaving. The big question is where is he leaving to? You can only speculate at this moment in time. But to me, that says he's got other plans, unless he's just so fed up with DC right now that he can't stand another minute of being there, because that's a paycheck, right? So in my mind, he's either left because he has a job, he's got somewhere else to be, or he just can't be there anymore. And this is interesting that this is going on at the same time that the DC fandom event is happening right now. I don't even know what the announcement is, but this is going on at the same time. So Bob Harras he's worked at DC for a long time. He's worked at DC during really good times as well. He was editor-in-chief of Marvel Comics from 1992 to 2000, and then group editor at DC Comics since 2005, editor-in-chief from 2010 until now. He's done a lot of stuff at DC. This is, how about this one? Seems to have decided that enough is enough. And yesterday, the day before the launch of the rapidly shrinking DC fandom event, was his last day. So he quit yesterday, and here we are finding out about it today as the DC fandom event is going on. This may partially be down to the uncomfortable position of still working for a company in a position that has already been replaced by two others, of who I don't know though. If you wanted the paycheck, if you were paid, they already gave your job to someone new, and all you had to do is just sit there and be a warm body. Could you do that? I don't know. Maybe he's got more self-respect than that. That's absolutely a possibility. Let's see. More I am told that this is down to Harras being an East Coaster at heart, and then he moved to Los Angeles with DC Comics in 2014 under some duress, and can't wait to return to his family home in New Jersey. And yeah, he's getting paid. So I don't know what he's going to do. We'll see if he decides to launch a crowdfunding campaign like everybody else seems to be doing, or if he's, I don't know what else he would do. Maybe he's going to take up knitting. He could do that too. You could knit, do some knitting maybe. Maybe he's a secret great knitter. Anyway, DC Comics, they've made some tough decisions that make sense that I agree with. They've made some other decisions that clearly they have no choice in. They're sort of shrinking, and they're trying to justify their existence at all with their corporate overlords. Why? Because they make IP. That's it. Even though all that IP can be used anyway, they could never publish another comic, and there's so many characters on IP they could do whatever they want with. They could make new creations, new characters in television and in movies. They wouldn't have to pull from the comic books. Nobody ever mentions that. I think it's such a that's it, this is why it's such a poor argument. If they say comics should exist because you can make great movies and TV shows based off of our comics, why do you need comics then? You already own the characters that people know and love. You can go ahead and make, Harley Quinn was made up in a TV show. She wasn't made up in a comic book. The comics adapted Harley Quinn afterward. So, I mean, you got to find a better argument as to why your medium should exist, why your company should exist at all. And it had been years of them saying, "Oh, this is essentially a proving ground for movies and television." Movies and television don't need a proving ground. They really don't, especially not one that loses money. So it'll be interesting to see where things go. I'm going to keep an eye on it and let you know, as always. If you have not backed Fatal yet, please get in there, check it out, back it, help us to reach new heights. Once we hit 40K, we're going to be adding a fan art section to the book. And the way that you're going to help us and some great fan art is by making ads for Flynn. If you were Flynn, if you worked at his company and you were exterminating aliens, what would his ad look like? You don't have to be a great artist or anything like that. We've had a couple guys send us in photos. They photoshopped some stuff together, really great ads. So it's always fun to see people doing stuff like that. So go ahead and make an ad, share it on social media, and you can email it to me, sweetcastclint@gmail.com, and you are entered to win $100 and to get your piece of art printed into the book. So thanks very much, and I will see you in the next video.